Y'all are gonna get jumped. That shit that they're wearing. Is that the same shit? Oh. Is this where episode 1 started? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with some more Yatagarasu. It seems as though, even though I think this is only, a 20-episode anime, and we are, episode 14, I believe? Sorry, I didn't look at the number before we started recording. That we're starting a whole new arc, which I have to assume is whatever the prince has been building up to. I thought it was going to be something about, like, poisoning in the water supply or something, that everyone at Central was going to start dying or something. But no, it seems like there's monsters underground about to kill people, and someone's spreading rabies, I guess? I have no real explanation for the one Yatagarasu who turns into bird form and just starts, like, killing people in the streets. That's either madness or rabies. That's what I'm attributing that to. Either way, we got something new to look forward to. So let's go into what we normally do, which is notes and a board. And let's pop up that board real quick, where the board changelog is very simple. I connected Fujinami to asebi with a green line with a purple arrow on it, then connected her with a red line to Samomo, considering, that she seems to be obsessed, or was anyway, with asebi, and killed Samomo. Accidental or not, the red line indicates source of the death, right? I did not move anybody on the current location chart, only because I'm not exactly certain who left Central and when. The glancing shots of the four lords looking out and their mental states at the time doesn't really tell me where they were. Like, I would assume, like, looking at asebi's dad, for example, and he's looking out at the cherry blossom fields, seems to indicate he's home, but I need the show to more readily define that for me. Otherwise, it's just going to be guesswork. So yeah, that is the board. So on to notes. So asebi arranged for her sister to get SA'd by Kasuki, while making the circumstances, it seems almost understandable as a mistake of identity. I meant for him to go here, and instead he went here. How could I have known? That sort of thing. She did this to take her sister out of the running so that she would be sent to the palace. Such was her obsession with the prince. And the Empress saw this in her from episode 1, thus the name asebi. But she used the same tactic again, this time to try and take out her competition in Masho no Suzuki, luring him in with a red kimono, where that deniability would have been the fact that she intended to hang a red kimono herself, knowing that she would never be allowed to. I guess the interesting thing is that she never saw Shiratama as competition, I guess, seeing as she never really tried to screw with her. I guess the idea is that maybe the gardener guy may have been a target for her to try and then mess with Shiratama's mental status, but I don't really think that was. I think that was all incidental. Otherwise, also the element that it was Suzuki that gave asebi the material for the kimono that she would have been hanging outside. So the kimonos, while not looking exactly the same, would have come from the same place, material-wise. We knew the princess was an ally of asebi's from the start, but this obsession she had with asebi was just completely missed by me. Seeing it now in the explanation, the blushes, the eye dilation, etc., seems quite obvious, to the point that I have to wonder if they'd actually been visible in past scenes to have figured it out, or if this is just something being shown in the now. The most damning aspect of the princess's unintended murder is that Samomo was loyal to the very end. At no point did she try and defend herself from the princess, or stop herself from being pushed over the edge. Her last words were trying to warn the princess of asebi's true nature. Literally, she says, "Be careful," and I don't think she's saying, "Be careful because you're pushing me." I think she's still trying to implore her to be careful of asebi. Lady Asebi is just the evil version of Natsuka, it feels like. Natsuka draws in the evil with no motivation towards using it, as a shield for the prince and as a way to eliminate it. Asebi lures in the innocent to use in her machinations towards getting the prince, to use as a weapon for the evil of her plots. Despite what the princess did, I do think it was pretty cold-hearted of her brother to abandon her in that moment. She was manipulated, and that manipulation caused her to do something horrible. I know that from his perspective, he needs to weed out weakness and prepare for some pretty horrible times of infighting ahead, and that her ability to be manipulated is one such weakness. But she also feels like a very human character. When she cries for her brother, I don't get that same sense of falsehood that Asebi projects. Is she guilty? No doubt. But I don't think that puts her beyond redemption or forgiveness. I just assumed the person we'd seen in those flashbacks was Sumio, as a kid, as the prince had mentioned a number of times that they were actually childhood friends. So when it turns out that Hamio's actual name is Sumi, I mean, I don't know what to do with that information. Does that mean Sumio's backstory is false and that Sumi was actually his childhood friend? Why was she in the eastern area for Asebi to have seen them both when she's from the south? If this was after her parents being killed and stripped of their privilege, was she just traveling with the prince at that point? If so, then how did Toro get her pulled away from the prince to get her in the deal that she was in? Was this during the time the prince was abroad? I think I really need to go back at some point and rewatch the first episode beginning bit, where we see the Kinyu flying over, and I believe that's Yukiya and his two brothers, right? But every so often I go over something that's like Game of Thrones-esque in the plot, and I keep thinking back to that first episode, like what was going on there. And my final note. Guess I was just completely wrong about how Genya would take things. Oreo seemed to be crying as if she was happy that Shiratama had made her own way or something. So yeah, I guess less bloodshed than I'd imagine. Akira looked pissed, understandably. His daughter was the best choice, and she basically got shafted. Hiroto was basically unreadable. But who knows if Asebi got her craziness from him or not. I'd say Toro looked pleased, despite the prince's whole not a member of any of the houses statement. She is technically of the Southern House. Her parents were the former lords of the South. Her adoptive father is the current lord of the South. And considering Toro's relationship to the Empress, it seems highly likely that if they wanted to reinforce that relation, they could reinstate her peerage by reinstating her dead parents' peerage, reattaching her to the South. Anyway, as I said, those were my final notes. It's just basically a catch-up on... The whole last episode is basically, this is what Asebi did, and this is what we have to look forwards to. So, most of the real kicker, I think, came from the 2 episodes back, dealing with the other 2 girls. Consorts, sorry. So, yeah, I think that's basically it. So, nothing left to do here but to hop on in and see what the new threat brings us.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Back to Tahuri Village? Was that what it's called? Tahuri? Back to the north. Oh, okay, no, this is one of the stands for the horses. That place that we saw the prince talking to Yukiya before. I guess it's not a great thing when the horse is trying to break free. Oh, okay, so it's like a hot spring stop. I'm fully aware that there's a murder here happening or a monster attack. I mean, they might be people. They might just be cannibals. Really? You can't break through the thatch? I guess the idea is you wouldn't be able to run. I suppose they're not out there killing the horse. Yeah, there we go. Crying kid always gets killed. Yeah, too late at that point. Okay, they are wooden walls, never mind. I thought from the outside it looked like thatch. I'll be honest. Well, two things. One, I was actually hoping for a new opening, since we got a new ending last time. I was actually hoping, possibly, that they are people, and that the element was that he was going to take the baby. Kind of like, I would keep leaning back to Game of Thrones. Kind of like in Game of Thrones with the Ice Walkers take the children and turn them into Ice Walkers. That whatever's going on with these things, that they would turn kids into it. I know it's not better, but the idea that they wouldn't be just openly killing children, I don't know. It seems sits better in the craw, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean that's a typical thing, right? Wild West stories. There's plenty of Wild West stories where people hiding from, anything on the frontier, and then they try and keep the baby quiet, and then that's the impetus of the story. Not what happened to them, but the element of they tried to keep the baby quiet so much that they smothered the baby. I swear, at least it's one of those, if I had a nickel every time, I wouldn't be rich, but I'd have way more nickels than I can imagine I would have had before. But yeah, I mean, new threat. Watering the ground, I guess. I guess, yeah, I guess it would have to get introduced to a whole new set of characters. Is he the doctor, or is he being treated by the doctor?
Yukiya? Yukiya? 起きなさい。ユキヤ？母上、おはようございます。おはよう。と言っても、今日は2度目ですけどね。
I was concerned for a moment that that might not have been his mother, and we had done a time jump, where now he has a significant other.
何か約束があったようだけど。
So now we're just reintroducing.
梅漬け。そうだ。今日は梅の収穫。ああ、二度寝するなんて。ああ。お前、具合でも悪いの？大丈夫です、母上。
Said that now you know the secret of your own lineage. Also, it behooves you to oversleep because you're playing up the blockhead role. It's weird how their eyes seem so much more innocent when they're in bird form. Are plums green? I'm getting confused with dates.
雪屋に。
何がごめんだ。遅いぞ。収穫はもう終わったか
Maybe
ら
there
な。
has been a time skip. He didn't have a kid before. Unless he's looking after a kid.
中央から戻ってもう2ヶ月だってのに。
That is sort of a time skip.
のんびりしてるのが次男坊
He's been
の
away
いい
for
と
a
ころ
year,
だ
so
もん
his,
な。
I guess his brother could have had a kid in a year.
やっちまった。とりあえず降りるか。ん？怪我でもしてるのかな。
Well, this is a horse. Oh, there we go. The rabies.
何やってんだ。ユキヤ。大丈夫か。
あいつまともじゃない。
え？
抱きついて僕を地面に落とそうと
Also, he's foaming from the mouth. Maybe mention that part.
自分も死ぬかもしれないのに。兄上、
みんな作業小屋へ。急げ。
So he's trying to get his brother to tell everyone to do because, you know, can't subvert the authority that his brother has over him.
ちっちゃい。
Is that? Okay, no.
今のうちに。
I thought that might have been the girl that we saw at the very end of last episode. Same colored robes. Is that the prince? Sumio?
すごい。ありがとうございました。
怪我はないか。
The prince, okay. I say it's only been 2 months past the "I don't want to see you again" thing.
ささ、まずは一本。
I don't know where we're hiding the face.
やはや、見事な伸びっぷり。
縁はきなりと言いますが、こんなところでお会いするとは奇遇ですね、ユキヤ殿。
はあ、さようで。
勇気や、なんと愛想の
I mean, legitimately, you wouldn't believe this guy would have anything to do with coincidences after the whole incident of how you got
出来の悪
recruited.
い字なんで中央でもさぞやご迷惑をおかけしたことでしょう。
いいえ、ご子息には若宮殿下も私も随分助けられました。
いやいや、世辞は無用にございます。何もお役に立てず、放逐同然で戻されたことは本人から聞いており
Didn't
ます。
tell them the truth either.
さあさあ、どんどん召し上がってくださいませ。この若あゆ、さっき取れたばかりなんですよ。さあ、お出しして。
I don't know what that thing on top of them was. Was that like chopsticks wrapped in paper?
おとなしくしといてくれよ。禁断の薬？
服用するととても満ち足りた気分になるそうです。自信が湧き上がり、あたかも神になったかのこと。
Okay, so we got shown the physician earlier because he's gonna have some part in this.
今日のやつみたいになるの？
いかにも。
そんな薬が。いや、しかし。ああ。少し前に連絡がありましてな。たる日の宿場で中央で流行っていると謳い、妙な薬を売り歩く者がいると。私自身合理を伴い調査しました。ですが 確証は得られず。
薬は確実に存在します。ただあまりに情報が少ない。それが何からできていて。
Again, I guess it's not too far from the whole I thought the water and center was going to be poisoned, and now it turns out it's just a drug that comes from poison. I mean, from a center.
なんと、さすれば、住丸殿には全力でご協力しましょう。北領の治安にも関わることですし。
助かります。つきましては、雪屋殿をお借りしたいのですが。
雪屋を？いや、しかしこのボンクラでは。
謹んでお断りします。そんな重要なお役目、僕には荷が重すぎます。
Underselling himself is his best defense, always.
二度寝してしまったし、ご協力は惜しみませんが、お供をする自信はありません。
Okay, he is doing the blockhead defense.
長男のユキマをぜひ。
Your older brother has a baby.
いえ、どうぞユキヤをお連れください。十分お役目は果たせると思います。弟はやればできるやつですから。
何言ってんですか。僕は中央で散々迷惑をかけて。
向こうで
I was even just looking after a kid.
お前は何も話してくれない。
Not the thing to harp on. I just keep thinking about it.
役に立てなくて追い出されたとばかり。
兄上。
1年間共に過ごした住丸殿がまたお前を望んでいるんだ。それが何よりの答えじゃないのか。
He does like to use people, though.
お見苦しいところを。
いえ。
気心が知れている方が住丸殿もやりやすいかもしれませんな。雑用でも何でも雪屋に言いつけてくだされ。
We're gonna have somebody else taking the drug here. Oh, that's the one from the end of last episode.
姉妹にしよう。どこか田舎で暮らそう。中央を離れて誰も知らない小さな町で小さな。
Are they the drug peddlers?
それ何度も聞いたけど。
今度こそ本気だ。俺は仇になる。
I guess the guy I thought was the doctor may have been the guy who's now the horse. That we didn't see him turn into a raven and fly. Y'all are gonna get jumped. That shit that they're wearing. Is that the same shit? Oh. Is this where episode 1 started? Let's say, was that the same shit that looked like the, monster guys were wearing?
それとも花からこうなると見越してたんですか？若宮殿下。
勘違いされては困る。若宮殿下は宮中にて立派にお役目を果たされている。今の私は若宮殿下のそば使いである住丸以外の何者でもない。
I must not have picked up that he was wearing an outfit that was his false garb.
よそ者が聞き込みをしても警戒されないからな。お前がいてくれるとありがたい。嫌なら無理強いはしない。薬の存在を知ったのは10日前だ。花町からの陳情書にカラスの姿になったまま戻れずに暴れている遊女がいるとあった。調べてみると同様の例はすでに中央全域に見受けられ。
Well, that's the guy I was talking about.
たる日に怪しい薬を売り歩く男がいるとの知らせを受けた。
Okay, so I was right. He was the doctor guy. He wasn't a victim.
この手の快楽を得る薬は今までにもあった。いずれも谷合の連中が管理しているのだが、今回の薬の出所は彼らも掴んでいないようだ。
Guess it's just a fucking dangerous job. People get drugging you all the time.
わずか数度の服用で気を失い、人の形を取れなくなる。中央のクス氏が総力を挙げて治療法を探しているが、未だ元に戻れる方法が見つかっていない。このまま手をこまねいて山内に蔓延するようなことにでもなれば。
タルヒがヤタガラスの存在そのものが危うくなる。
I guess ultimately you gotta figure out, is this a political ploy? Is somebody using this drug?
何があった？突然暴れ出して。
これも薬のせいなのか？
これまたもらえる？
こいつは希少なもんだからな。
意地悪ね。ねえ、なんて薬？
I mean, they're addicts. Apparently one is enough to get you addicted. That sounds very familiar. Is that like a mold or a mushroom or something like that?
Oh. 悪いが品切れだよ。
I mean, I said they were probably peddlers, and turns out they are. So I guess we've learned 3 of our new villains.
ゴーリたちへは一足先に使いを出しておきました。きっと墨丸殿のお役に立てるでしょう。
恐れ入ります。
どうぞ遠慮なく弟をお使いください。ユキヤ、大切なお役目だ。頼んだぞ。
はい、兄上。行ってまいります。
Again, it has to be status symbol. They already explained the whole reason why they have certain people as horses and whatnot. But the fact that they are all people, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't fly yourself, other than the whole nobility doesn't turn into this. But that is just status and elevation, and it feels like some of these people wouldn't believe in that, but they still do it.
いい兄弟を持ったな、ユキヤ。
卑怯だな、殿下は。
卑怯？
Also, your highness has a sister.
しないとか言っちゃって。分かってたでしょ。僕がタルヒをほっとけるはずないってこと。あ
あ、そうか。ま、お前も自分の大切なもののためにせいぜい励んでくれ。
Great, back to a steady diet of these things. Are we testing another guy? No, just Samio. Sumio, rather. Wonder if we're gonna see the consorts ever again. You know, that whole thing is over.
どうしました？
お客さんが来ないんですよ。菅生の人とここで取引する約束でね。昨日から待ってるんだけど。
Well, you're oddly energetically impatient. Someone's been waiting for over 24 hours.
売人と思われる者の人相が分かった。
40前後の細身の男？はあ、そんなの世の中にどんだけいるんですか？
Yeah, it was literally a guy on your right, just ahead of you.
次の町は。
知らないってあれだろ？山の葉で人を惑わすっていう。
おお、見たんだ、ゆうべ。 すぐの山の葉にさ、光がこうゆらゆらって。違いない。
Classic dungeon master material. Just have your characters walk by two people loudly talking about the thing you need them to know.
人が訪ねよって先から。
一杯おごろう。代わりに今の話、詳しく聞かせてもらえないか。
はあ。
で、なんで僕らがこれをスゴーに届けることに？
乗りかかった船だ。
知らぬいなんか調べてどうするんです？
わからん。だがタルヒで同時期に起きた異変だ。何かしら関係があるはず。
それも金
Is it going to be that the person who is supposed to pick this up is going to be the raven that killed themselves? Going berserk? Oh, this place. I don't see any footprints on the ground or, I guess the raven got away because it's not trying to tear its way out anymore. Or dead from starvation. We're still fucking here? I guess this is the time frame of when that scene happened. Is that like an orangutan or something? Okay, so it was a special one-off ending. So we're back to the old ending as well. I mean, fair enough. I was really hoping that we're going to get more of that other ending too, because I think the art style in that new ending was pretty good. But I guess that was just to indicate to us that the consort selection thing was over. As I said, the element, as I said, sorry, I didn't say anything yet. What I'm trying to indicate is the element here that we know. Well, that could be a bunch of clues there too. I never even thought about the idea that the ending could be filled with clues, like a whole Detective Conan thing. I guess this is technically kind of new, even though I think it's the same song. The idea is that we know the characters now. We spent over half the show with them. So we've established our existing characters and what they're about. Now we've got new characters, vis-a-vis who just showed up there, to learn about, deal with, see who might be trying to trick us, who is good, who's actually bad, etc. But otherwise, this is a brand new arc, and I don't really know what to keep an eye out for, other than the fact that some people are going crazy because of a drug, and other people are going to get killed because of monster orangutan monkey things.
姿を現した異形の怪物。
And now we know what happened to her.
小さな村には死の匂いがこびりついていた。惨劇から唯一逃れた少女は敵か味方か。次回生き残った少女。
Stealing from Harry Potter now, are we? Okay, I'm thinking that she is going to be the trap. That it's either that or it's just circumstance, right? The element that she lived, but she's still also the drug dealer. So she is going to be spreading her own badness. I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say it's evilness because it's an addiction. No, she's peddling. It does kill people. Maybe it is evilness. But she's spreading her thing, which is completely separate from the other thing. The element that just because bad stuff is happening might not be related to other bad stuff that's happening. And I don't have enough information yet. Because again, this is the beginning of the arc. Also, it's the element that's the first time watching, and I haven't come back yet with my notes or anything. You gotta give me time to do that. So I don't, again, off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't suspect I'm going to have much here other than just the basics. that there's a drug from Central, you take it a couple of times, or one time too many, and you'll start going crazy. Again, foaming at the mouth shit. And also the element that there is just monkey monster things running around. The last episode we didn't really see where that was, I guess, other than the element that possibly the prince detected it. I don't know if that's a range thing or not. I guess technically the indication here is that's all in the north. And that doesn't tell me a lot either. I'm going to have to pause on that map and see if the map tells us anything. I guess other than the fact that the places they cross off would probably be places that the attacks are not happening. And beyond that, I don't know. I need more information, but the element is that I know they're quickly running out of episodes. I think I've mentioned this before, that in a world where anything is possible, then anything is possible, right? So you have to limit what you believe is possible in any world that you're watching. And in that vein, I typically just need so many confirmations of a thing before I take it for granted that is always going to be true. That I could see myself, we have 5 episodes left after this? I could see myself running out of episodes before I'm no longer in the realm of supposition. And, I don't know. I also saw that there is still plenty of material for this show after this season's over to make more stuff. It's just that they haven't released any indication that they will. And not for nothing, the element that apparently this was an underrated, underwatched show, despite the quality being fucking amazing, it could be that it just did get underwatched, and no matter how good it is, they aren't going to release more because it underperformed. You could make the best movie in the world. If it took you $20 million to make, and it only netted $1 million, that is a flop. That is worse. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. So, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, if I ever hear anything at this point about a season 2 of this, I will be watching it. There are a bunch of shows that we've watched here on the channel that there's a category of, if we ever see anything about it again, we will watch it again, or we will watch the next thing. And there's other shows that are, they're fine, like Overlord. I'm kind of burnt out on Overlord. I watched 4 seasons on my own, and then I watched, 4 seasons with Griff here on the channel, and whatever. It's like, I just got no desire to watch Overlord anymore. So, it's not that we just pick up any show again that we've ever watched on the channel. For my tastes, it's very specifically the best shows. 86, Made in Abyss. Other shows that aren't coming into my head right now. I'm currently also waiting for the Magic Knight Rayearth remake that, they didn't come out with on their own anniversary, so I don't know. If Symphogear ever comes out with more stuff, which I don't know, they could. Macross, I don't know. Macross is doing a weird thing where they're downturn. Like, I don't know. But they are making a new Macross thing. I will probably be watching it with lessons at some point. Anyway, I'm just rambling about other stuff now. We're in a new arc. Essentially, it feels like almost a new show with established characters. So from that perspective, hey, maybe this is the thing I'm going to be using the location map for. We'll figure that out. Other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up for this recording then. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?